he killed a guy
And he
in
just-
less than 30 days
Yeah.
out of prison.
Yep.
He killed a guy
Yep.
in less than 30 days. But all of these do-gooders, he's a wonderful asset to society and a wonderful,
Right.
and he kills a guy, because they had a little misunderstanding.
Hey Art, would you go back and say what you were saying earlier about Frank Pergola? You know, you were saying in terms of being a homicide detective, he was one of the best.
Yeah, well, I worked with Frank Pergola for, I'd say, 8 years. And Frank Pergola was the most meticulous homicide investigator that I ever saw or worked with. And I've worked with a lot of guys over the years, but I've never encountered a guy so conscientious and so meticulous and just taking everything to the nth degree. And in our case, in our trial, the DeMeo trial, he had everything as far as you could get with. I mean, one time we looked for an old Cadillac that Roy had owned.
That's the one
And
where they chased Dominick
Yeah.
Ragucci.
Right, where they killed a young kid,
That was the vacuum cleaner.
18-year-old kid who was going through college.
Right, selling vacuums
Ragucci,
door to door.
right.
Yeah.
Dominick Ragucci.
And it ended up Roy and his uncle Joe,
Dracula.
a wacko, go chasing the kid, and the kid is aware. Now the kid's big. He doesn't know why these guys are after him, but he sees him with a gun running after him. Kid runs back to his car, jumps in, and goes. They chased him all the way out to the island
Shooting
on
everywhere.
Route 110 at noontime. Hundreds of people, not one witness to this, and they killed him. But while they're chasing him, Roy is shooting out the window at the car. Old man Joe is on the passenger side, and he's reloading the gun, and he's shooting the gun through the floor. It's like accidentally, boom, he's shooting. And it so happened that they shot several holes through the catalytic converter on the Cadillac. I never even heard of a catalytic converter until they came and said to me, we have to find this car because we want to get the catalytic converter. It's been sold. When we located it, it was in Baltimore, Maryland. We seized the car. We took out the catalytic converter because Freddie Denane had repaired. He had a repair shop himself. He told us that he repaired the holes in the catalytic converter, and he put tar over the holes and pieces of tin or something, and that's how he patched it, and that is how it still was. When we seized it, we used that. That was one of the evidence. Well, that was Pergola in the middle of all this.
So do you think it's a rare thing? And I mean, I actually know the answer on some level, but I'd like you to expand on it. That even Frank got together to do this interview because he's never been interviewed before.
He told me that.
You know, I think
rare.
it's special that you guys are coming together for Dominick.
Well, first of all, Pergola again hasn't done this for anyone, and has always told me I don't want to be involved in this stuff. He said he's gotten rid of all his notes and things. He doesn't really want to, but with Dominick, Frank feels the same way I do. I mean, we have the same opinions, and because even when I visited with Frank and his wife and my wife a year ago in Florida, we talk about Dominick. We always want to know, if he's okay, and when did you talk to him last, and things like that. And Frank would only do so. I don't know of anyone else that Frank would ever do this. No other witness that we have, that's for sure. I don't think he would do it. I don't think Frank. I know that he's never done anything like that. So, I'd say that's a big step when you have someone of Frank's stature that everyone knew. I mean, anyone in the U.S. Attorney's Office. This was under Rudy Giuliani when he was the U.S. attorney, and everybody there knew that Frank was the #1 homicide detective. A very special guy.
Yeah.
And he was a good friend with Dominic. When we used to go, I don't know if he told you this, when Frank and I would go out together on the road to meet Dominic somewhere, to Los Angeles or someplace, Frank would come and he'd have a separate bag with him, and it would be for him. And he'd have salami and provolone and sausages. He'd have all these things, Italian delicacies, because he was always telling us, I can't get the good Italian food, you know. And Frank would come with a whole bag, right?